shielded away from the outside walls or windows, any spot that would potentially be impacted first. You want to have multiple layers of protection, multiple walls of your home to shield you against this threat. Like I mentioned, League City right now with a severe thunderstorm warning showing as radar indicated large hail, so close to 2 inches in diameter. So I'm going to turn on the hail tracks to see what that's looking like over in League City. It's very impressive. It's popped up over the last 2 hours. I'd say over the last 30 minutes, the size has grown dramatically. So if I pause it right there, this is down the Gulf Freeway. I'm going to zoom in and show you. So right in the Dixon area along FM 517, the Gulf Freeway, Hughes Road, golf ball sized hail is what radar is picking up on. Widening the view, there are a couple of other storms producing hail. That tornadic storm that's been warmed south of El Campo also producing hail. So zooming in there, anywhere between quarter to golf ball sized. So that's going to be a storm that we watch not just for the potential of damage from a tornado, but also the damage from some larger hail that's developing. Through Harris County right now, we're hearing some really heavy rain coming down. So our studio is in the Galleria, Westheimer and Chimney Rock, and heavy rain is coming down. I can certainly hear the wind with the trees rattling. Straight line wind impact is going to be something that affects all of Southeast Texas. It has been doing so over the last couple hours. In case you're just waking up with us, the storm is racing quickly towards the southeast at 40 miles an hour. So I'll turn radar back on so you can see the big picture. A lot going on here. First and foremost, we'll take you to the tornado warning, lifting the lightning so you can see inside the storm. Clemville under that tornado warning, Blessings under that tornado warning, at least until 7:30. So right now, radar is not showing a whole lot of progression with this storm. It's not very fast moving, that particular cell. The main line, however, is moving very quickly. So keeping an eye on that. Velocity still showing a tightening core, which means we're going to have to keep a close eye on it for at least until it starts widening up a little bit. Everywhere else, though, the line is behaving in the sense that it's not spinning up individual couplets. It's still showing straight line wind damage impacts, and that still can do a lot of, it can wreak a lot of havoc. We've been seeing that with these storms that have developed straight line winds consistently. So towards the airport, I'm seeing reflectivity values that are at 40, 50 miles an hour. Anytime I see the turquoise color showing up on velocity, that lets me know that reflectivity is kicking up again. So 60 miles an hour right now for Porter Heights. And we've got a couple of updates to talk about. Ground stops at the big airport, Bush Intercontinental Airport, at least until 8 o'clock this morning. Hobby Airport, ground stop until 7:45. And now Centerpoint is reporting 18,000 power outages. The weather tracker is on East Cypress Wood Drive in Spring, so we can have a look at what the conditions are like there. Blinding rain, those windshield wipers getting no breaks whatsoever, and the skies, of course, darkening with that storm passing through. Lots of lightning that we've been tracking all morning long. We've got team coverage with meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We're keeping a close eye on the tornado warning, the large hail that's developed, and the straight line wind that's impacting all of Southeast Texas. Chris, what are you watching right now?
Yes, Kim, of course, that blinding rain from the tower cams is what I'm really fixed on as you make your way out across Houston this morning. This is what it's looking like. You really can't see much of anything across the area, but also the potential for 60 or more higher, 60 mile per hour or more higher winds as we go throughout the next several hours. Lots of heavy rain now moving through downtown Houston. There is some hail with these storms, especially in and around League City. So if you are in League City or just south of League City, we're reporting some possible $half sized hail that is just now crossed 45. So if you are in Bay Cliff, San Leon, as well as portions of Galveston Bay, that's what we're dealing with, that hail size that's increasing as we go throughout the next 30 minutes to an hour. We're also, the good news is that the National Weather Service has allowed that tornado warning to expire for portions of, that was in effect for portions of Matagorda County. So that's some some good news that we are seeing some weakening with that system as it makes its way south. But now what we're really going to have to keep an eye on is this heavier rainfall, this band of heavy rain and storms that is now moving through Houston. As we look at those winds, we are seeing those winds up to 40 to 50 mile an hour. I'm going to go ahead and get a new reading in terms of what we're looking at. Of course, I have my computer off towards the side of me here, but as we look at the current winds right now, especially for downtown Houston, we're seeing close to possible 48 to 50 mile an hour winds, close to 60 mile an hour wind gusts in and around the center of Houston, just south of the North Belt. So that's definitely causing those ground stops in and around the Bush airports as well as Hobby airports. So expecting those flood warnings to also still be in effect. We're watching the flash flooding situation, especially for northern Montgomery County, as that's going to be in place at least until 9:30 tomorrow or this morning, as they've already received close to 2 to 3 inches of rain in northern Montgomery County last night. Kim.
Hey Chris, a brand new update. That tornado that was tornado warning that was for Wharton and Matagorda counties has now been allowed to expire. So instead of having a tornadic threat now, the threat really shifts towards the large hail and the wind, not to mention, of course, the very heavy rainfall that's going to pose a threat for the next couple of hours. But right now, a severe thunderstorm warning for radar indicated 1-inch hail for the Blessing area. Tornado is still possible in that area, so we'll keep an eye on it, but the warning has been allowed to expire. I'll turn on the hail track so you can see what kind of hail we're tracking over the last 2 hours. So still looking at penny size to golf ball sized hail south of El Campo pushing towards Blessings. And then League City, right along the Gulf Freeway, that's where the larger hail threat persists right now. So that could be anywhere between golf ball to ping pong sized hail. This radar signature is showing a little bit larger than that. So maybe up to lime size hail. We will continue to track this line of storms as it's pushing through southeast Texas throughout the morning. Join us live on our stream at khou.com.
Sending out a text to supporters last night that warned
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our special coverage as severe storms move through the Houston area. Right now, more than 35,000 customers are without power right now. And here is a look at the FlightAware Misery map. Right now, there are 34 delays at Hobby Airport. Also, 35 flights are canceled. And at Bush Airport, 82 flights are delayed with 10 cancellations. We want to check in with meteorologist Chris Ramirez. Where is the storm right now, Chris?
Yes, we're still dealing with that widespread rain and some heavy downpours across the area. This is looking at the from the top of the KHOU 11 studios, 67 right now in terms of those temperatures. But as we look at radar, we are seeing these storms sweeping all throughout southeast Texas. There is a severe thunderstorm warning right now. This is along the I-45 corridor. This does include League City, Santa Fe, just south of Brookside Village. We could see 60-mile-an-hour winds with 1 to 2 inch wide hail, possible $half size hail. We've seen reports of some large hail just south of League City, so the hail threat is there with this storm, as well as the heavy downpours and dangerous lightning. There is also another severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect for portions of near Matagorda County. They're dealing with some strong winds just near Blessing, near Buckeye, south of Clemville, but we are expecting this to continue at least through the next few, probably 30 minutes to an hour, as we're seeing some more heavier rainfall just on the backside of those storms. As we look at the hail tracker here, we're seeing that close to quarter-inch to $half size hail along 45, and there is some more hail cores just south of there, so we're definitely tracking that as we go throughout the next several hours. But we're also dealing with the additional rainfall that's causing some potential flooding, especially in northern Montgomery County. We've seen close to 2 to 3 inches of rain in some locations, 1 to 2 inches of rain just north of the Houston area. So as we look at those flood warnings, the National Weather Service is continuing that flash flood warning in effect for northern Montgomery County. This is around Lake Conroe until the early morning hours, until 9:30 this morning. That does include Montgomery and Walker counties, as well as we're keeping an eye on the Trinity River. There is that flood warning that's in effect for Chambers and Liberty counties, and that's along the I-10 corridor. The National Weather Service is also keeping the entire city of Houston under that aerial flood advisory until 10:15, as our area has already received the great amounts of rain within the past few days. So we're expecting those continue to be in the picture. So that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for areas just southeast of the Houston area along 45. That includes Brazoria, Galveston, and Harris counties, that we could see some 1 to 2 inches of hail. And then we're tracking that other storm that is just near in portions of Matagorda and Wharton counties. That's moving southward towards Palacios, and we're seeing some very high wind gusts with these storms as we go throughout the next several hours. So close to 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds with these storms as we go throughout the next few hours. But as we look at that future track, we are expecting it to continue that rain as we go throughout the next 30 minutes to an hour, at least by 10 o'clock towards the noon hour. So expecting that to be in the picture, as well as that rain threat diminishing. We're going to have a little bit of a break as we go throughout the early afternoon, Jen.
Oh, we're looking forward to that break, but we have to get through this mess, and we are encouraging you to stay off of the roadways. This has been blinding rain, very dangerous. You see this large portion of maroon. I mean, even the red is bad rain, but this is blinding rain that you don't want to be through. It's dangerous up 288 corridor right now before you reach Highway 6. It is ill-advised to hit the roadways. Same for the Beltway and the southeast side around 35 leading into the Friendswood area. If you can just stay put wherever you are, home, work, I would certainly advise that. Also north of the Channelview area between 90 and I-10, this is also dangerous rain to be driving through. Over on the southwest part, over in Rosenberg, I took the radar off so you could see we have a hazmat situation, 59 northbound right near 2218. Some traffic that's beginning to stack up. 90 would be the way to go if you have to hit the roads, but that is going to be a big situation. It's going to be there for a while. This is what it looks like on 288. Live picture at Highway 6. Again, it is dangerous to drive on 288 in the Highway 6 area just due to the rain showers that are coming down. Same for the Gulf Freeway at Scarsdale. Just wanted to show you that this rain is no joke. We also have a Katy Freeway problem outbound at TC Jester right now, causing major delays leaving the Heights and downtown. And my colleague Devon is out in the storm tracker, and I know you've been up in the Spring area. I'm curious, have you seen any high water spots?
You know, we actually have seen some street ponding, if you will, along Cypress Wood Drive, but I want to flip the camera around and set the scene for you. So we are here off Cypress Wood Drive, right coming out of the parking lot here of the Shops at Cypress Wood. We've been out here for the last hour and a half or so. We saw some really strong lightning strikes that hit around this area, and it knocked power out to several businesses. In fact, there are still several businesses along this stretch of Cypress Wood that are still without power, but within the last maybe like 5 minutes or so, the street lights actually came back on, the traffic lights, but there are still some that are still out here as we pull up to 45 and Cypress Wood Drive. But again, things are starting to clear up. The power is slowly starting to come back on. We have seen some ponding along this road here, but nothing that has brought anything to a standstill. Traffic is back moving. People are, going back to some of these businesses here. The school, Spring High School here to my left, they were out of power for a brief minute there, but it looks like they are back up and running as those storms have kind of moved out of this area now, and we are starting to see a break here in the Spring area. For now, we'll send it to meteorologist Kim Castro for the latest on how things are looking for us.
Yeah, Devon, thank you for that live report out on the roads. These were fast-moving storms, which is why the main threat was straight-line winds. We're still under that threat. A severe thunderstorm warning for Harris, Brazoria, and Galveston counties lasts until 8 o'clock. This is a live look at the line moving through the area very quickly, 40 miles an hour, tracking towards the southeast. I'm going to take off the lightning so you can see inside the storms to the couple of areas that we're paying particular attention to. A severe thunderstorm warning for League City specifically. That one is showing us the potential of 60-mile-an-hour winds with the additional threat of some larger hail. Not to mention, over the last 2 hours, look at these substantial hail tracks that were recorded by the National Weather Service. They measured the hail that fell in their office. It was 2 inches in diameter, so that's larger than ping pong ball sized hail. Taking a wide look, another area of focus just south of Wharton County into Matagorda. That's been an area that we've been watching closely throughout the morning. It at one point had a tornado warning. Right now, a tornado is still possible, so we're going to monitor the rotation within this cell, but certainly seeing the reflectivity there showing us that we're watching hail and we're watching some really gusty winds. So that's a look at velocity right now. The good news is you'll notice that the tightening of the wind has allowed to relax a little bit, so it's been expanded, which is why it currently isn't under a tornado warning, but still a strong storm nonetheless. The wide look at velocity, the wide look at the wind across southeast Texas shows the predominant impacts were from straight line winds throughout the entire area. At one point, I honed in on the heights and they got winds at 50 to 60 miles an hour. Right now, the track of the storm, as we take a close look at the areas that are going to be hit here next the hardest, very soon in the next 7 minutes, Lake Jackson, and then we'll push our focus towards Texas City. Freeport, you'll feel impacts in your neighborhood by 8:05, Brazosport by 8:09, and then Galveston Island by 8:12. Now, I want to show you that this morning is really the time frame that we need to be mindful of. In fact, we're under a severe thunderstorm watch at least through 11 o'clock. The majority of the threats, though, are going to start to wind down once this main line passes through. So once we get to that 8-12 time frame when the storms are in Galveston. Wind damage is going to be the top concern for your home, but also for the power outages. We're keeping a close eye on the number continuously increasing as the storm makes its rounds through southeast Texas. Street flooding is also going to be a concern throughout the day. Already saturated grounds getting hit with these downpours, these rates that are hard to absorb in a short amount of time. And as we saw, large hail and the possibility of a spin up. So we've seen that already for Wharton and Matagorda. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this storm as it exits the area. Peak wind gusts, that shouldn't say Tuesday, it should say today. Peak wind gusts for today, already across the area, 40 to 50 miles an hour, and the possibility of some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We saw that recorded in Conroe, by the way. So even though this model isn't showing that, we've already confirmed 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts recorded. We're under a flash flood warning, so that's something we're also keeping a close eye on. So this is from Montgomery and a portion of Wharton. Throughout the day, flash flooding will continue to be a concern. Now, I want to make you aware that there is a chance for a couple of stronger storms to continue even into the afternoon, although the threat for that does go down. This morning, that's when we have to have our highest guard up in case you're planning to travel along the Gulf Freeway. Try to avoid doing that at least for the next 15 minutes. That's when our 80% probability of strong storms starts to diminish, 30 to 40% throughout the afternoon. We'll have more updates on social media and, of course, KHOU.com.